Hey, everybody. Welcome to Marked by Wrestling. Welcome to Tuesday night, which can only mean one thing. Welcome to NXT. Our countdown is ongoing. We're at 10 seconds away from another episode of, well, one of the best brands in professional wrestling. So glad you guys are here with me. We ended New Year's Evil on a massive shock. Not only did Obafemi semi-predictably retain the NXT championship against Leon Slater, he abdicated. He gave up the throne. He vacated the NXT championship. This is not the NXT championship. This is a 1989 foam toy WWF belt, but let it represent what we're talking about here as the show is about to get underway. So we don't have a champion. Not only that, we also have a new women's North American champion in Izzi Dame. What a crazy turn of events that took place. So we have a lot of questions about what is Ava going to do about the NXT championship. We have lost the trinity of black excellence in NXT. Trick Williams, Javon Evans, and Obafemi now all gone from NXT. Called up to the main roster. We're still waiting for Oba to debut on the main roster, but Trick is called up to SmackDown. Javon is called up to Raw. And we've got quite a question mark in front of us. I'm with you, George. Good to see you. Good to see you, George. Good to see you, Dro. McIntyre is your second favorite. Hey, man, McIntyre, talk about a shock. New WWE champion as well. Dawsey, good to see you as well. Tyrell, the gang's all here. Zach says National Rubber Duck Day. Well, that takes me back to Bert and Ernie. Rubber Ducky and all that stuff. Lockwood in the house. Lockwood, you're 100% correct. Listen, I said this on Twitter last week after it was clear that Oba was leaving, is that some people have this sort of panic. We're getting a recap last week of Blake Monroe jumping jumping Thea Hale and all the series of events that led towards last night. Good to see you, my friend. That led to Izzi Dame winning the North American title. But back to my point here. A lot of people tend to think, that NXT is cooked right now because they've lost so many heavy hitters. But listen, let me tell you, this time last year, we were coming up on Julia and Stephanie Vaquera leaving. And listen, this is what NXT is here for. And I said this, and some of you guys will rock with me on this, and some of this might be outside of your hobbies. But I look at NXT a lot how I look at like college football. Sometimes you will find these dominant diamonds in the rough, these undeniable superstars, but eventually they get drafted to the major leagues. But that doesn't mean the sport starts to suck after that. It just means next man up or next woman up. And that's what we're going to find again this year about NXT. The NXT is this special organism in that it acts as its own brand, but is also the developmental system at the same time. I know they have Evolve and stuff too, but we've already seen Kendall Gray coming up, right? We've seen spots of Sean Legacy from Evolve coming up. And those are just two superstars who are jumping from Evolve up to NXT. Let's not forget, people who are already in NXT. JC Jane has not left yet. Blake Monroe has not left yet. Those are just two women. We've got Leon Slater, who's a TNA talent, but let's be honest, he's coming over to WWE as soon as he is contractually available to do so. Ethan Page is still in the mix. Ricky Saints is still in the mix. Briggs, although the crowd hates him, hey, he's over. He's in the mix. And Tony D'Angelo, we see him right there in his Bane era. So there are people who have the opportunity to grab that proverbial brass ring. But now we're back on the title. It's like they just left it on the mat. for a week. Okay, the whole roster's out here, and Ava's in the ring. So let's see what she's got to say, y'all. It's the perfect opportunity. The men's division is wide open. All right, well, what are we going to do? Oh, even the Vanity Project's out there from Evolve. Honestly, a vacant title going into Royal Rumble season, very interesting. Joe Hendry's out there as well. Miles Bourne. Here comes Ricky Saints to make an attention-getting entrance here. And I will say this. I do think Ricky's entrance music is very attention-getting. It's very distinct. And I got to give him that, because in the age of Def Rebel, when you don't know who's coming out, when I hear Ricky's music, I know it's him. Hey, Shamanica, good to see you. Glad you're with us tonight. Ava in the middle of the ring talking about how it's wide open now. Oh, Lockwood, I didn't see Brooks Jensen out there. I know he's just kind of faded into the background, but man, I tell you what, Brooks is an old head. He's Bull Buchanan's son, for those of you who remember Bull Buchanan, and that dude can go in the ring. I hope they can really find the missing piece with him. He also, you can find it on Reddit. He actually had a dark match against Obafemi a couple of years ago where he came out to Separate Ways by Journey, and that was lit. It was fantastic. Oh, here we go. The coalition is in the house. Smash the like button, and what's up to everybody in the chat. Hey, Sophie. Yes, Bull from Right to Censor. That is Brooks Jensen's daddy. He was also a contemporary of the Big Boss Man. Ricky being a true heel, saying Oba was afraid. Ricky's trying to grab the ring right now. Yeah, Dossie. Bull Buchanan's kid is in NXT. Brian Pillman's kid, Lexus King. And one of the kids from Chase U is Finley's kid. That's right. He was Be Real, Cena's henchman. Bull Buchanan, the perpetual henchman. I mean, to be fair, Ricky does deserve a rematch. I mean, and he hasn't gotten it yet. Okay. She's saying Ricky's no more deserving than anybody else. Could we get a battle royal? February 3rd. 6-man ladder match on February 3rd. Okay, February 3rd. That is a Tuesday. That will be on a weekly episode of NXT. And the qualifying matches start next week. Ladder match, baby. Ooh. I'm very curious who they will put into that match. Yeah, like with Brooks and Josh, they were a team at first with Fallon Henley for a while, and then they broke up. Oh, Joe Hendry's getting in the ring. Okay, well, here we go. It's a slobber knocker, everybody. It's a Donnybrook. It's a whatever Jim Ross-ism you want to call it. There is a lot of fighting going on. Usually you'll get a clue here. Who is that? Whoa. Some dude just yeeted somebody. Keanu Keanu Carver. He is an evolved talent, apparently. He looking like, oh my gosh. He just launched one of the Jackson Drake. Keanu Carver looks like little baby Femi, if I'm being honest. Oh my gosh, he's about to powerbomb somebody through the announce table. Bro, what an entrance. All right, we're going to have to learn the name Keanu Carver, but I am going to be calling him Baby Femi. I mean, he is straight up Thanos and people, just shrugging people off. You guys remember the end of Infinity War when Thanos showed up in Wakanda and just started one-shotting everybody? That looks like, I mean, he even looks a little like Obafemi. Don't call me racist. They just a little bit. Whew, yeah, I know it looks like a Cobra Kai ran into a Miyagi. Like, and Ricky looks a little shook. I tell you what, man, that roster just sold like crazy for this Keanu Carver kid. We got a baby Femi in the house. It looks like Trick's hair on Femi's face. And he makes everybody else bounce like Javon. Speaking of nothing, Lola Vice versus Kelani Jordan tonight. So we got that match. So, ladies and gentlemen, I saw a question on social media today that I thought was going to be a good, positive space to share what we love about wrestling. And I'm going to credit a current AEW roster member for asking the question. So I'm going to put this up on the screen. It will be our question of the night tonight from Kyle Fletcher on X. What wrestling match / moment do you watch when you want to feel something? And so I'm going to give you guys time to think about that while on the commercial break. And maybe that's something we can talk about tonight during commercials. I'll go first while you guys are typing or thinking. There's so many moments I could go with, right? And I know you guys, see all the retro kind of merch behind me, and I bring up the Hasbro toys from time to time when we're being silly. But I gotta say, since we're in the vein of NXT, I want to share an NXT memory with you guys. And it was TakeOver Brooklyn right before WrestleMania 35. So you guys, I'm sure some of you guys probably remember, it was Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano for the vacant NXT championship, as we're dealing with a vacant NXT championship tonight. 2 out of 3 falls. For those of you who maybe weren't watching NXT at that time or weren't familiar with what the climate was like there, Tommaso Ciampa, Gargano's former partner in DIY at the time, they had broken up because Ciampa had turned heel on him, which in the world of NXT was a legendary heel turn, a major shock at that time in that world. And Ciampa, you would never know it by watching him on SmackDown now, but went on the heel run of a lifetime. He was so over as a heel, he didn't need theme music. He just walked out and was booed from the entranceway all the way to the ring. And Ciampa sustained a neck injury, which at the time they thought would be a career-ending injury. And that was going right into the final takeover the night before WrestleMania, NXT's WrestleMania, if you will. And in doing so, he was building his way back up to having a blow-off match with Johnny Gargano, who the two of them had an amazing feud together. Their NXT story could not be more night and day different than the way that they're used on SmackDown. I mean, those two guys, I hate to use the word pillars because it gets a little thrown around a bit, but I cannot overstate how important Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa both together and separately were to NXT during that time. And so Ciampa can't go, and he has to vacate the title. And it's very emotional. WWE Network at the time, when that was still a thing, had even produced a documentary about his surgery and everything he was going through. And Gargano goes up against Adam Cole, and this is in Brooklyn, and the crowd is decidedly pro Adam Cole. Like, they're booing Johnny Gargano at the beginning. And that match, I want to say, goes close to 45 minutes between all 3 falls. And as the match goes on, just out of pure babyface wrestling, Johnny Gargano wins over the crowd. And by the time it's over, Johnny Gargano wins the NXT title. The crowd is popping for Johnny. They're not necessarily booing Adam Cole, but Johnny is won over the crowd. His wife, Candice LeRae, comes in, celebrates with him. And at the top of the entrance ramp, after the credits go, we see Tony D'Angelo, by the way, stalking in the background as we're back. I'm going to say one more thing. Ava talking with Robert Stone. Ciampa comes out of the entranceway and embraces Johnny and Candice to end the show in a neck brace and stuff, which we thought we'd never see him again. And that was amazing. So anyway, I see some answers from you guys. This is the question of the night. What wrestling match moment do you watch when you want to feel something? I felt so many things, so many emotions in that match and in that angle and all that stuff. So I'm going to come back down the chat while Kelani Jordan makes her entrance as she's taking on Lola Vice tonight. And we'll go from there. So Lockwood says Tyler Bate versus Walter. What a match that was. That was a fantastic match. Great recommendation, by the way. I would highly recommend you guys checking that out. I think you can probably see it on WWE's YouTube page at this point. George saying Brock Lesnar stopping the streak of The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Really, George? I mean, listen, it can't be overstated how important and how shocking and emotional of a moment that was in wrestling. I never would have expected that to be a moment you'd go back to, though. So we learn something new every day as Lola, Miss Vice, makes her entrance into the NXT arena. Last name, middle name says Will Ospreay versus Shingo, the best of junior final. Okay. Ospreay is a wizard, man. Oh, Kelani Jordan just straight up drop kicked Lola off the apron, didn't even let her make her entrance, and then she flies off the top. The bell has not sounded. Last name also says Kenny versus Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom. Hey man, 2 in-ring dynamos, no doubt. And then Lockwood also said Bray Wyatt's memorial show. Yeah, that was highly emotional. Bray Wyatt's documentary that Bo also kind of oversaw was really emotional as well. Good answers, everybody. Continue to share more throughout the night as we're in our commercial breaks. We're back now, and Lola and Kelani are throwing. Spin an arm drag there by Lola. The soon-to-be Mrs. Mello and the current, what do you want to call, special someone in Damian Priest's life, Miss Vice, taking on each other right now. All right. Well, there is the new North American champion, Izzi Dame, making her entrance, flanked by members of the Culling, the Whippa Queen. It's Whippa time. Yeah, you know, George, both of these ladies, both Lola and Kelani, are both kind of at a crossroads. I think both of them could really, really use a win right now. Keep your memories coming. We will revisit them during the commercial break. Oh, the speed title is on the line tonight as well. Tavion Heights will be challenging Jasper Troy. We got some pinning counters going on. Oh, little victory roll is countered with an armbar, but Kelani makes the ropes. Good to see you, Nico. Thanks for joining the chat. You guys don't forget to hit that like button. Guys, we are really close to our viewing hours. So I think in the next month or two, we may hit it. So please just keep it coming. Keep it coming. Ooh. Kelani Jordan just gave Lola the old, what did the five fingers say to the face? Slap. And now being chased around the ring. Great heel move, but doesn't work. Ooh. Kelani just kicks Lola right into the announce table and drops her with a clothesline. Vic Joseph and Booker T on the call tonight, by the way. All right, we are back to commercial break. Feels like another quick one, to be honest. All right, so just going back and revisiting some of our comments here. Dossie Chatham, our current reigning predictions champion. Daniel Bryan winning the championship at WrestleMania 30. I was there, and that happened after The Undertaker lost a streak, which is something I was not happy about while I was there. You're absolutely right about that, man. Listen, I loved the ending to WrestleMania 30. You know what? Something that I always found special about that too is, as much as I never thought I would say it, Michael Cole. Because when Daniel Bryan debuted in WWE, Michael Cole was in the middle of that really terrible heel announcer gimmick he was doing. And he antagonized Daniel Bryan all the time on commentary at that time. And like how he's like, he was a nerd, like he thinks he's hot stuff because he's this, indie darling stuff. It was all kinds of stuff you'd imagine Vince was saying about him behind the scenes. And the fact that Michael Cole had shed that persona, which was good for wrestling for him to get rid of it. And on top of that, just flat out cheering for Daniel to win. He was like screaming, tap out Batista, which felt like such icing on the cake and a full circle moment. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, so much appreciated there. Modfather's in the house. Good to see you, Modfather. Hope you're having a blessed day as well. Modfather, we are sharing what is your favorite match or wrestling moment that you like to revisit when you want to feel something. So if you want to jump in on the conversation, you're more than welcome. George has given us a few. He says the return of Bray Wyatt for sure. Sting's debut at the Survivor Series. Never thought that was a thing I would see. I'm with you on that one. Sting versus Triple H at WrestleMania. I did not particularly care for Sting and Triple H as WrestleMania. That is another rant I can give for another time because I was a WCW kid. I mean, I liked WWE too at that time, but boy, WCW got done dirty in that match. Just terrible stuff. That's my like AJ and Endgame. Grinding my gears is the Sting Triple H match from WrestleMania. Just terrible. The Usos and New Day Hell in the Cell match. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was a watershed moment for both of those teams because they had, and I'm not saying they haven't shed some of their silliness as characters. They still have it to a degree, but that match alone proved that those guys could go to that place. In that match. So great job by all involved in that match. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Eddie versus Brock and Eddie winning the title. That was a beautiful moment. You know what else was a beautiful moment was the promos leading up to that. If you guys have never seen Eddie Guerrero's Addict promo, ADDICT, Addict, versus Brock Lesnar leading up to this match, is one of the most passionate promos I've ever seen Eddie give. And I mean, honestly, it was so real too. Just absolutely fantastic. All right. I'll keep coming back to this soon as we're back from our commercial break. There's a few I haven't gotten to yet, but there's a few more we'll revisit on the next break. All right, both ladies are down. This is awesome chance for the ladies. Congratulations, ladies. You're winning over this crowd tonight. Kelani and Lola just throwing at each other, throwing hands, trying to get back to their feet. You don't want to throw hands with Lola Vice, though. Oh, so Kelani throws feet instead. Lola catches that. Yeah, you don't want to strike with Lola, and a nasty German suplex there from Lola. Vic Joseph bringing up a good point on commentary. You got to wonder if the winner of this match vaults themselves into championship contention. Oh yeah, the NXT crowd Lockwood is 100% generous, for sure. Oh, jeez. Lola Vice hits like a leg lariat, like a Rough Rider from the apron to the floor on Kelani, but I feel like she landed with all that weight on Kelani. They landed hard. And now she hits that hip attack. Oh, she's giving her a little Rikishi action there in the corner. I think she's trying to trademark the Stephanie Vicaire spots now that she's no longer in NXT. Oh, Oscar lock here. Rear naked choke. Yeah, it's not an Oscar lock. It's more of a straight up, like Gunther's finish, just the choke. Uh-oh. Kelani with the roll up reversal, but only gets 2. Kelani catches the kick. All right, Kelani's going up top. Big frog splash. Only 2. Yeah, that was a 5-star frog splash style elevation there. Good elevation by Kelani. Kelani looking for that split-legged moonsault, I bet. But, oh, wow. Lola Vice scouts the move and catches her in the moonsault and gets her in a triangle. Honestly, that should be a good finish. That really should be a good finish. They're rolling around. Kelani's fighting it, but they're rolling closer to the middle of the ring. Man, Kelani gets a roll up and only gets a 2. Honestly, I felt like that should have been the finish, but that's okay. Not a big deal. Oh, angle slam from Kelani. Kelani caught her in the back fist. She caught the back fist and countered it. Now going for a 450, rolls through. Roundhouse kick, misses. Chaos Theory coming? Nope. Wow. Oh, Kelani tries to grab the ropes to cheat and gets caught by the ref. The count is interrupted. And now there's the back fist, and I heard it. Oof. Lola just knocked the mellow out of Kelani. Good grief. Fantastic first match. Especially like just as, I don't mean to belittle it, but like just as like a TV match, that was excellent. That finishing sequence was like a PLE level finishing sequence. I thought that match could have been over 2 or 3 times. But good on Kelani and Lola. I mean, that was a solid finish. There were multiple times I thought that match was going to be over for each lady. So you know what? I kind of hope they develop their chemistry even more because they work well together. I saw Kelani, Lola. All right, Lola is calling her shot against Izzi Dame. She wants to take Izzi Dame to Vice City. All right, somebody call Tommy Vercetti. Promo from Tavion Heights. Modfather says, new finisher I was thought of. I don't know if anyone does it, but I think it's pretty cool. A shooting star frog splash. Yeah, man, you'd have to be like a Montez Ford type of elevation off the top rope to be able to do all that and do like the pump action on the frog splash. But that sounds that sounds spectacular for sure. So yeah, we got Tavion Heights versus Jasper Troy for the speed title tonight. So that's a guaranteed 5-minute match or less. Will Tavion be the new speed champion? Jasper doesn't think so. F5 into a falling DDT. That would be a sick finish too. Jasper Troy's getting better in his promos. Like, he's still got a ways to go, but he's clearly improving. Clearly improving. All right, y'all. Yeah, SmackDown and Saturday night's main event going to be in Montreal the week before the Royal Rumble. All right, let's revisit some of these special moments in wrestling for you guys. Tyrell said Roman versus KO at the Rumble when KO is a heel and Reigns is a babyface for the Universal Championship in 2017. Now, was that the match, Tyrell, where KO tried to, I want to say, run over him with the golf cart? Or was that a few years later? I'm trying to remember. That might have been 2020 when KO was the babyface and Roman was the heel, but I can't remember for sure. Well, no, it wouldn't have been. Roman wasn't. He wasn't a heel in 2020 yet, or was? I don't remember. I can't remember. I'm stumped. But yes, Roman and KO, great in-ring partners for sure. Last name hits us with a shout out to WrestleMania 22. Rey Mysterio winning the world title at WrestleMania, defeating Kurt Angle and Randy Orton. And a huge dedication to the memory of one Eddie Guerrero. Great moment there. We also get Samoa Joe's NXT debut. Speaking of Kevin Owens, came out after Kevin Owens just beat the bloody mess, figuratively speaking, out of Sami Zayn, but won the title via referee stoppage after just multiple power bombs. Kind of a really almost an uncomfortable level of violence without actual gore or blood. Kevin Owens put over really strong there, only to be interrupted by one debuting Samoa Joe. George also says the Wyatt 6 debut on Raw. Yeah, man. That it was very out of character for Raw at that point to basically look like they were staging a murder scene backstage in Gorilla. I still remember on social media people thinking Chad Gable had been shot in the head. I'm like, guys, it's just blood and not even real blood. Like, it was so theatrical. It was really impressive. Absolutely loved it. And Lockwood hits us with, Walter versus Duke Hudson match. Gunther is a chop, and the crowds goes wild. You need to see it. So type that into your machines sometime later this week, everybody. Walter, who the man who would become Gunther, and make John Cena tap out like well, you know what he did. Hit one of his legendary chops on Duke Hudson, and the crowd went wild for it. Let's see. 2021. Oh, Sean Swaby's here. Good to see you, Sean. You're not okay, Modfather, you're not there. Well, listen, hey, Modfather, I know you would enjoy going back later and watching that Kelani Jordan Lola Vice match. I think it had all the trappings of what you would enjoy in a good ladies NXT match. So feel free to check that out later. It's worth going back and seeing if I know you like I think I do. Both ladies also appear to be trying new things to their movesets a little bit. It's the first time I recall Kelani working an angle slam into her repertoire. Also, she's using a frog splash a little bit more, and Lola Vice seems to be tapping into her inner Rikishi a little bit with some of her corner moves, and that's all I'll say. But yeah. 2021, like, well, thank you so much. I couldn't remember. Oh, I could not remember. Yeah, Swaby. Yeah, that is true about Gunther. Like, he's starting to cheat a little bit more. And you know what? When he does it sparingly, something that I like about it from a creative standpoint is that Gunther deciding to cheat is communicating to the crowd that he is threatened by his opponent and is desperate to win. That is a cheating, really, for somebody like Gunther, shows a sign of weakness, which I thought is excellent, because he can still continue winning matches and be strong, but at the same time could be shown a disadvantage, weakness. Well, I'll tell you what, our speed champion didn't even get a televised entrance, which is not a good sign. So bell rings and Tavion Heights hits a drop kick, and we are locked in for a speed championship match. Yeah, Mod Father, just drink a cold glass of water before you watch that match and stay chill. But I do think you'll enjoy it. Lola and Kelani are both getting better, and it was a really competitive match. It was really well done. Well, Jasper's just running Tavion right into the corner. He could take it, George. He could. I feel like they're still invested in Jasper's dominance, and trying to prove LFG, trying to prove and validate LFG's brand. So we'll see. Oh, that's right, Lockwood, the new luchador. Oh shoot, what was his name? We saw the video package last week, though. I do think we see him this week. I'm excited to see that dude. Can't remember his name, but we'll see him. All right, we have 3.5 minutes. A minute and a half has passed, and Jasper pretty firmly in control at this point. By the way, if you're late joining us, there is going to be a 6-man ladder match on February 3rd to crown a new NXT champion. And the qualifiers for that ladder match will start next week. All right, we're under 3 minutes. Tavion not really, not doing a whole lot. Now we see Shiloh Hill working out backstage. He's got a match against Stax Lorenzo for the TNA International title tonight. Oh, Ricky's going to be in it, George, for sure. I imagine Ricky will be in it. I'm guessing Tony D will be in it. I'm guessing this new Keanu Carver dude from Evolve will be in it. The way he showed up tonight. 2 minutes left, by the way. You know what? Let's put on the fantasy booker glasses. Big slam from Tavion Heights. If they are intent on trying to establish Jasper Troy as a threat and a speed champion, I would have him go on a run of speed title defenses where the time runs out. And it's just that he can't, it's not that he's necessarily winning and dominating all his opponents to bury the challengers, but that he's a mountain that these guys can't climb in 5 minutes. That's what I would do. But Tavion comes off the top, Modfather, you were talking about Shiloh Hill, the dude missing the front tooth. He has got a different gear. I don't always love his little silly side, but when he hits the switch, bro, there's something there. There is something there. Oh, under a minute left, and we get the black hole slam, and that's ball game. Tavion is done, and Jasper Troy successfully defends the Speed Championship. So there you go. I do think there would be I think there is some money to be found in having a speed champion that no one can beat in the time limit. Like you're chopping, and Jasper Troy could be a good person to do that. Like you're chopping down that mountain, but you just can't do it fast enough, you know? But he goes over in 4 minutes over Tavion Heights. So we'll see where Tavion goes from here. Maybe Tavion still gets a shot in the ladder match. Oh, he just got jumped. Is that Lexus King? It looks like Lexus King. Yep. Lexus King with the neck breaker. Picking the bones of Tavion Heights after Jasper Troy just dropped him. You know what? Call me crazy, but a loose affiliation between Lexus King and Jasper Troy wouldn't be the worst thing. All right, Ren and Kendall here getting ready to knock on Ava's door, but they are interrupted by Zaruka. JC just popped out of Ava's office, shushing them. All right, well, now all the ladies are forcing their way into Ava's office. So Fatal Influence and all 4 ladies are in there. Oh, TNA Knockouts tag title shot. All right, so Fatal Influence, the Ren QCC, and Zaruka will be in a triple threat tag match next week to determine who gets a shot at the TNA Knockouts tag titles over in TNA. Shamanica bringing us breaking news that Baby Femi, which is, by the way, who that is the official Marked by Wrestling NXT Watchalong name for Keanu Carver. Just as Miles Bourne, it goes by Baby Randy out here. Baby Femi, Jackson Drake, and his crew. All right, so that is, again, I always want to call them Cobra Kai. The Vanity Project. And another star just got signed to NXT. Okay, well, they are bringing those guys up. So, again, like we said at the top of the show, next man up. Next man up. Thank you, Shamanica, for confirming that information. Last name, you say Zilla Fatu could cost Ricky Saints. Has Zilla been signed? Can anybody confirm that for me? Or is he still kind of like working over in Booker T's wrestling school and doing independence and stuff? I got to say, I saw a clip recently of Zilla. He's not a bad wrestler. So nobody hear that when you hear what I'm about to say. But there is a certain template, a certain copy paste template right now of the bloodline when it comes to in-ring moves. And I'm like, if you guys could learn a few different moves other than the Samoan spike, the super kick, and the spear, and like the splash, I know some of those are Samoan staples, going all the way back to Haku and Afa and Sika, and maybe even before. But Could we not? Could we mix it up a little bit? Just a little bit? You've heard he's in no rush to join WWE. Honestly, Shimonica, I think that's wise on Zilla's behalf. I think he'll get lost in the shuffle. He's going to have to really be undeniable, I would say, like Jacob Fatu was when he debuted. Because I'm not going to say there's bloodline fatigue, but the way they dipped their toe, not even dipped their toe, the way they pushed in all their chips on Jey Uso in 2025, and how, they gave him his run, and now he's tagging with Jimmy again. I can't say that they're going to be as charitable with Zilla if he doesn't get over in a big bad way when he does show up. Also, I think Zilla shouldn't be in a rush when they do get their hands on him to put him on the main roster. Like, let him cut his teeth a little bit. Honestly, like, I feel like Solo Sikoa probably should have spent more time in NXT. Not because he wasn't good, but I think he could have really rounded out his character mechanics a bit more. Because we're seeing him be all goofy now. And honestly, I think he's better at that than like being the goofy, almost cowardly kind of heel who can still hit hard. I think he's better at that than he is at being an enforcer, because when Jacob showed up, it's like everybody's a gangster until a real gangster shows up. Like, Jacob showed everybody what a real enforcer looks like. So I don't know. I think Solo could have spent more time in NXT. They seem to be in a rush to make the bloodline a thing. And listen, the bloodline was very, very successful. But I think most of that is because of Roman and Paul Heyman and Jay, honestly, during that time. But, it is what it is. No need to rebook it, I guess. I think Oba will be signed after the Royal Rumble and Soul after a dominant and impressive run. I could see Soul. I don't know when they'll bring Soul up. I think there's a chance Soul could stay in NXT for a while, though, because the way things are going right now, JC Jane could be champion until Stand and Deliver. And I think Soul is probably your best babyface to take the belt off her. But maybe she doesn't have a long run in NXT. Lexis King here is strutting in front of Chase U. And then Oba, I'm expecting Oba to be in the Royal Rumble. That's a great place to display him. Is it your birthright, Lexis King? Because respectfully, Lexis, your dad was never a world champion anywhere. I mean, he was a cruiserweight champion, basically. Light heavyweight champion. Who's back here to... Oh, Miles catching Robert Stone. Miles Bourne demanding a spot in a qualifier match. Yeah, Lockwood, I mean, your dad's name was synonymous with being injured. Like, they call it Pillmanizing someone's ankle. Which, listen, legend, written into wrestling legend. And listen, Pillman was an amazing character and in-ring competitor before he was injured. He was fantastic in-ring competitor before he was injured, but he never got he was never top of the card. And that's okay, because he was also a mid-carder and like a light heavyweight back when it was okay for everybody to kind of be in their own division, and the entire card was good because of it. Normalize that again. Not everybody has to get a main event push. Oh, here we go. Elio Lafleur, that's his name. The French luchador. On luchador. I don't know. training in 16, trained by Nitro. The idea of a French luchador is wild. The first European luchador I recall seeing, which, I mean, technically maybe he wasn't, but it was the gimmick, was Blitzkrieg in the late 90s during the Attitude Era for NWCW, the Nitro. Lockwood, I remember that when Bobby Heenan had the neck surgery at Clash of Champions, Pillman was wrestling Eddie Guerrero. And Pillman bailed outside of the ring and didn't tell Heenan he was going to go cower behind him and grabbed him by his neck and made Heenan drop the F-bomb on a live TBS broadcast. And Heenan got so rattled, he had to get up and walk away from the desk and walked halfway down the aisle. What's even funnier, though, is that he came back to the desk after that. Pillman was the heel in that match, I should say. And Tony Schiavone, the broadcast partner, was like, well, I guess you're not going to be cheering for Pillman in this match, Bobby, huh? And he's like, well, don't get me wrong. He's still a good guy. Such a great spot. I'm so glad you brought that up, Lockwood. People should check that out. It's an old Clash of the Champions, probably from like 95, I'm guessing. Really good. Ava just said Ethan Page is not in a qualifier. Ooh. Ava said that Ethan Page has to give up the North American title if he wants to be in a qualifier. Very interesting. Ethan Page has not agreed to it, by the way. Ethan is the current longest reigning champion. Oh, he's defending the title next week. Whoa. LaFleur is debuting in a North American title match. Okay. And there's the glamour, y'all. Blake Monroe is making her way in. She looks almost like 80s Madonna. I think it's all the necklaces. Well, we'll see that coming back from break. In the meantime, Last Name asked us a good question here. Steven, do you think we may get Drew versus Jacob versus Cody? What I think is going to happen. Yeah, I think we'll get that. Now, here's the thing. I don't know when we'll get that because SmackDown has already booked itself, not into a corner, but they've already booked themselves to a fatal four-way match coming up on Saturday night's main event. So honestly, I'm not trying to be dismissive or pessimistic. I don't think it matters who wins that fatal four-way. But I think the winner, because the winner is going to face Drew at the Royal Rumble, right? It's the fatal four-way is on Saturday night's main event. And then the winner of the fatal four-way goes to the Royal Rumble to face Drew. I do think we get Jacob and Cody and Drew all in there with each other. But I just wonder when it's going to happen because they've already kind of mapped out who Drew's contenders are going to be, and that leaves Jacob and Cody out. So we might get Cody versus Jacob first, which I wouldn't hate that either, to be honest. It would be wild if Jacob won the Royal Rumble. I don't want to see Cody win a third Royal Rumble. Chamber, you're right, Lockwood. Chamber. We could have a 6-person chamber match because you could have Drew, Cody, Jacob. That's half the field right there. And you could get three of those 4 fatal four-way guys, the other 3. You could put Randy in there if you want. It could be real fun if you put Ilya in there, um, you know, or Solo or whoever. Um, I think you're right. So I don't know if we will get a pure triple threat match between Drew, Jacob, and Cody. I do not think Oba will win the Royal Rumble. No. Trick, yeah, Trick. That would be a great debut for Trick. I wouldn't have Trick, coming close to winning that match either, but I think that would be a good sort of first impression for him, the way he's been going right now. Now, I'll say this. Yeah, Oba or Jacob winning the Royal Rumble, maybe Jacob. I don't think Oba will win. Oba is tailor made to debut in the Royal Rumble, and we've had multiple big men or monsters go on these huge runs in the Royal Rumble, right? Remember Brock Lesnar, obviously, in 2020. The first time it really ever happened was Diesel in 1994, Kevin Nash. You had Kane in 2001, Braun Strowman one year as well. Basically, where a monster enters the ring and and even Nia Jax recently, um, I think last year even, just eliminates a ton of people. And they make their impact that way. And either everybody gangs up on them or they get eliminated by someone who maybe ends up being their WrestleMania match, or their Elimination Chamber match, depending on how you're booking it. So before Drew won the world title, I was thinking we would get Oba versus Drew at WrestleMania, and that we might still, if Drew drops the title before then. But I was thinking we would get Oba versus Drew as maybe Oba's first big feud. But now with him having the title, I don't have a clue. All right, we're back. And here is the glamour herself, Blake Monroe, making her way to the ring. I gotta say, her theme is very catchy. It's one of the few good Def Rebel themes. And I say good because it fits her, and it's not terrible music. I mean, it's not really the kind of music I'd listen to in my car or anything like that, but it's good. It's well composed. Did I watch the Stone Cold interview with Chris Van Vliet? I did. I watched most of it. I don't think I finished it, but it's very good. She said, "Let's talk about it." She attacked Thea Hale, but so what? All she did was bring a little hell out to play, she said. Dossie, they need some work. They need to put some work into it if Sammy and Drew. Yeah, I think if Drew is champion, he's gonna have to face one of the real big dogs. Roman, Punk, Cody, one of those guys. Seth, maybe. But it's gonna have to be something like that. I wish it wasn't that way, because I love fresh matchups. But the main event of WrestleMania is rarefied air. And honestly, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre at the main event of WrestleMania, revisiting all they've done, not a bad idea. Whoa. Blake just looked dead in the camera and said, "Let me let you in on a little secret. When you're as talented as I am, they don't always know what to do with you." Blake Savage. She says she's the moment. What's crazy is she's a heel, but then everyone's agreeing with her. She didn't lose control. She lost patience. I tell you what, this crowd is keeping their mouth shut to listen to what she has to say. There she is. We've been asking for weeks. Miss Parker's here, and the crowd just woke up. Blake does not look pleased. Jada looks happy to be back too, man. Good to see her. This should be a very interesting promo battle right here. Two different styles, but both these ladies can chat. I'm locked in. You're not going to hear me say a whole lot, probably. Doesn't look like the crowd wants Jada to say much either. They're just chanting her name loudly. And they're not trying to get themselves over either. They are popping for her. Well, that was short. Wow. Blake cut her off immediately, and Jada didn't have time for that and just dropped the mic and started going after her. Here we go. High stepping. Y'all. Oh, hypnotic right off the apron. They are chanting, Jada, don't play that. Listen, y'all. I hope the Heartbreak Man, I hope Shawn Michaels was paying attention in that segment, because Jada was maybe the most over woman on the roster based on how that crowd popped for her, for everything she did. Sorry, hold on. Having a cable issue. Anyway, I'm here for a Jada Parker, Blake Monroe feud, but I was not anticipating just how connected the crowd was to Jada Parker. Listen, they've always loved her, and we do too, right? Modfather, I know you're here. You can back me up on that. But the pop was different tonight. If I'm Shawn Michaels, I'm considering, once we wrap up this feud, can I preserve Jada's popularity and send her after the big title? I think she needs gold. If that maintains, I know tonight was just one night, but if it maintains, we're in the makings of a star. It kind of reminds me of how the crowd initially got behind Trick. Yeah, that was special. I'm telling you, I may be jumping the horse, putting the cart before the horse, jumping the gun here a little bit, but I think there is something. There's something to this, something different about Miss Parker tonight. And the crowd was really feeling her. And I know we talk about how the NXT crowd, we even said it earlier tonight, that the NXT crowd is sometimes kind of easy to please, because they love being there, and they'll say this is awesome for stuff that maybe is just good. But that was different. That whole segment was different. The crowd did not try to get themselves over while Blake Monroe was talking. They were so locked into her. They let her just talk, and they responded when wrestling fans are like supposed to respond. And then Miss Parker comes out, and they were just, she had them eating out of the palm of her hand, and she didn't even do very much. So, y'all, like, that was a real, that could be a real preview into something special in the next few months. Also, it's worth saying, gimmick-wise, Jada and Blake are so different. I'm very interested in this feud now. But also, I don't know who I want to. I hope there's a way for both of them to come out of it stronger. That's the only thing that makes me nervous, is when I saw a segment like that, I'm like, both of these ladies killed it. Like, this is going to sound so ridiculous, but I kind of hope they have like a Triple H Rock or a Austin Rock kind of feud where maybe it doesn't really matter who wins and loses because they both are super over after the feud is over. You know what I mean? If they could figure out a way to do that, both of these ladies just had a real moment tonight. I don't know. So NXT's been intriguing, Sophie. Yeah, it's quite interesting. As always, we're building up next week and the weeks to come. And, the matches tonight have been fine. The opening contest was really good. Yeah, so we'll see what's to come. We're getting Stacks versus Shiloh Hill after the break. By the way, everybody, just going to put it back on the screen if you're just joining us later. Our question tonight is, what wrestling match or moment do you watch when you want to feel something? Stolen from Kyle Fletcher's Twitter page. And the most recent answer I saw we had was actually from last name, middle name. It was the Briscoe brothers versus the FTR in a dog collar match. And I want to give FTR some credit. When I got my way back into wrestling on a more regular basis, it was NXT TakeOver Toronto when FTR or the Revival at the time were facing DIY in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the NXT tag titles. That was just a great show from top to bottom. But what a great match that was. And FTR been involved in a lot of great tag team action over the course of their career. I don't know what the future holds for them, and if they'll call it a career while they're still in AEW, or if they'll travel around a little bit more, if we'll ever see them back again in WWE. I'd love to see them mix it up with some of the teams on SmackDown. Even now, Raw, the way it's going, would be a lot of fun. But never know what's going to happen. And when Vince was in charge, he didn't really know what to do with the Revival. He really goofed them up a lot. And it's okay to do a little bit of humor with a team like that, but went way too far with them. Tyrell Breed says Braun Breaker should have known better not to put his hand on Adam Pearce. Listen, man. Ooh, Paul Heyman made a very interesting observation at the end of the night, saying that Pearce was the one to touch Breaker first. And honestly, I kind of like what they're doing with Braun Breaker. They're making him a menace, which is great. I think they're booking him really well. Because one thought I had, I talked about Obafemi doing the sort of monster spot in the Royal Rumble. Is that what if Braun Breaker stays suspended through the Royal Rumble, and then he interferes in the Royal Rumble and just starts tossing people? Like, he gets unhinged and he comes breaking through security and runs into the ring and starts just, for lack of a better word, eating people out of the ring left and right. And that's your monster spot. And he's not an official entrant in the Royal Rumble, so he can't win. But he just doesn't wreck the match fully. I think that would be pretty wild. All right. Dark State promo. Dark Cutler James is talking. Nobody really cares. God bless him. Dion Lennox is sort of starting to come into his own as a single, though. I'll give him credit there. Yeah, George, you know OTM is going to be the next contenders. They actually agreed last week to be in Joe Hendry's corner. Joe Hendry taking on Dion Lennox tonight to help even the odds against Dark State. So we'll see if OTM makes a impact against Dark State tonight. Dude, last name. I absolutely loved the shot they made of Braun Breaker delivering that spear last night. Not only was that spear a fantastic spear, but it was a chef's kiss production choice to use the drone to be the camera shot. The way it followed him all the way down the aisle. I can't imagine how long they might have talked about that idea or if they just came up with it earlier that day. But I really hope that perspective, that kind of replay, ends up in the next 2K game. That would be so much fun. All right. Here comes our toothless challenger, Shiloh Hill. Okay, something you guys, yes, it was a water boy spear. Something you guys may not know. Shiloh Hill's legit government name is Thunder Justice Keck. His real name is Thunder Justice. And if you can hear his theme song, I'm pointing at my eye instead of my ear for some reason because I'm weird. The lyrics to his theme song say "Feel the Thunder," clearly a reference to his name. But it's pretty wild that a dude whose real name is Thunder gets his name changed to Shiloh. Yes, Dawsey. I'm so glad they canned that stupid "That's What She Said" stuff from Dark State. Yes. RT Rig in the house. Thunder Justice. All right. We're getting the lights down spotlight announcements. I would not know what to think, honestly, if Shiloh Hill wins this match. Who do you guys think got it? I feel like Stax keeps this. Maybe with the help of Ariana Grace, who's here ringside with Stax. But yeah. Shiloh just a little too new for my likings. Oh, Ariana Grace just hauls off and slaps Shiloh. Has the bell rung? Okay, bell rings now. Also, I'm not really hopping on the train of WWE is exploiting and abusing their relationship with TNA by like stealing all their titles and stuff like that. I'm not really rocking with that. But if they put one of their titles from an NXT talent to an LFG NXT talent before it goes back to TNA, I feel like that might be a bridge too far. Just my opinion. Man, Stax is wrestling fast and hard, though. Whoa. Shiloh with a roll-up gets a 2.99. It felt like we had a Blake Monroe moment there almost for a second. Crowd is chanting that was 3. But the ref didn't hit the mat third time. You know, last name, I don't even remember. I don't even remember what his finisher is. I've seen it, obviously, but it hasn't stuck with me. Crowd is alive for this match, though. Front flip reversal out of an armbar. You don't see that much anymore from Shiloh. Wow. Okay, Shiloh's, so he's just got an armbar locked in, right? but he just spun Shiloh around and almost threw him to the ground while in the armbar. It was pretty dope. Really selling the move, instead of just standing there catching your breath. Oh man, back suplex sends Stacks over the top rope, and it looks like he almost caught his face on the apron on the way down. Quite a bump there from Stacks. Shiloh outside, battling with Stacks ringside. Ooh, smooth move from Shiloh. He gets thrown up against the apron. He hops up on the apron, spins around, and comes back with a discus clothesline. Whoa. So Grace just saved Stacks. Shiloh looked like he was almost going for a spear, but he missed. And instead of hitting the steps, he slid through the bottom corner of the ring onto the floor. But then he got up, turned around, and did like a somersault senton onto the onto Stacks onto the floor. So yeah, man, this has been quite an intense is maybe a bit, quite a big eventful match so far. So anyway, tonight we are talking about go-to wrestling matches and wrestling moments that you want to watch when you want to feel something. Thanks to the Twitter account of Kyle Fletcher from AEW. One that I go to as well, one of my favorite matches. I'm just looking at some of the old figurines here, and we're looking at the Hitman. We're seeing Bret the Hitman Hart, and we're thinking about the old Intercontinental belt over there in the corner. Bret Hart winning his first Intercontinental title from Mr. Perfect at SummerSlam 1991. Great moment there for me as a kid, because it's hard to explain just how dominant Mr. Perfect was booked as a heel. He'd lost the title once to Kerry Von Erich, the Texas Tornado, but he won it back in like less than a month or almost a month. Actually, I don't know, but it felt like it was a really short reign for the Texas Tornado. Anyways, Mr. Perfect held onto that belt for like ever is what it felt like. And when Bret finally won with the sharpshooter, it really felt like a new star was being made. And he was. I mean, that was a crowning moment for Bret the Hitman Hart. So I'm a big fan of that match and that moment as well. So we are still in the commercial break, but let's see. Last name's asking, am I going to watch TNA on AMC since AJ Styles is going to show up? That's a good question. I don't have AMC on any of my streaming packages right now. And that's not really an expense. If I can figure out like a way to free trial it just for that first week, maybe I'll do it. I'll have to look it up and see. That's a good suggestion though. Because we got to keep streaming here at Marked by Wrestling. We're so close to our hours requirement to open up memberships and super chats and all that great stuff. So I'm really, really looking forward to that and hoping that we can do it. So Royal Rumble is right around the corner. We'll be here for the Royal Rumble. I'm going to have to start looking at my calendar to see if I can start including Raw and SmackDown and get back on things. You have AMC on YouTube TV. Oh, listen, YouTube TV is a great platform. I had to cancel it late last year. It was getting to be too much for me. I wish it was a little less expensive because it's a great platform. It's probably my favorite live TV streaming platform out of all the ones. It's very, very convenient. Very great with the lack of buffering and stuff like that. It's really good. Tyrell says Cena versus Batista for the WWE title, last man standing at Extreme Rules. Yes. Was that the one where he duct taped Batista to the ring post or something like that to win? I remember having never seen a finish like that at the time. Some people thought it was a little hokey, but I thought it was creative. Which honestly is a good summary of John Cena's career. A little hokey, but creative. All right. We're back, and Stax is going after Shiloh here. Crowd firmly behind Shiloh Hill there. John Cena versus Eddie in the parking lot brawl. I remember that. And Eddie getting dropped on the cars. Jeez. That one stuck with me. Yes, indeed. And we see Joe Hendry and OTM backstage getting prepped for Joe Hendry's no DQ match versus Dion Lennox in the main event tonight. I tell you what, the in-ring work tonight has been pretty impressive. Uh-oh, we're going toothless. How to train your Shiloh here. So how to train your dragon joke for probably nobody in this chat. Man, just a big spear. Not even a spear, just a shoulder tackle, just almost like a pounce. Oh, like a standing 450 senton? Only two. It's like a double underhook, kind of inverted suplex. It's a lot of inversion in his offense. Now they're just chanting toothless. I'm glad they're chanting toothless instead of toothless aggression. So we don't really need to be reminded of Chris Benoit. Oh, down onto the second rope. Here comes. Ooh. Forearm to the back of the neck by Stax. He does have some crazy moves. Oh, gutbuster right into the chest. 1, 2. Only two. It was interesting. After Shiloh took his tooth out, a lot of his offense gets more creative, like he's almost like he's a different person. You know, like his offense changes a little. I don't know if that's on purpose or if that's just something I'm kind of making up in my head. Kick missed by Stax, and Shiloh's back up. Shiloh rolls out of the ring, and I think he's about to put the moves, drop the Riz on Ariana Grace. Oh, freaks her out. And now Stax back in the ring. The crowd has suddenly got really quiet. Sunset flip. Oh, ref's not going to. Nope. Count. Oh, kicks into a sunset flip. Only two. Crowd woke back up for that pin, though. Oh, inside cradle. Oh, Ariana kicks back over. And Stax wins with the assist from Ariana Grace. The timing was just a little slow on that finish. But Shiloh didn't need to win that match. But the crowd was really behind him. And I tell you what, he's getting better every week. Booker T, he's not ready for the big time. Kid's not ready for the big time. Last name's talking about the TLC. Yes. Yep. The TLC match, the original TLC. It was really good. Listen, we had that. We had Lola Vice and Kelani tonight. That speed match wasn't bad. Or Jasper retained. That was the wrestling tonight has not been bad. It's been a solid episode tonight. I would recommend to anybody who didn't watch tonight to go back and watch Lola Vice versus Kelani Jordan for sure. And then we're going to see Izzi Dame and the Culling come back. So I imagine we'll get some kind of window into who the next challenger will be for Izzi Dame. I'm assuming it's going to be Tatum Paxley, right? I mean, that would make sense, right? She's still running around with a chainsaw trying to get people's attention. And she was this close to challenging Thea Hale last week at New Year's Evil for that open challenge until she was jumped by Izzi Dame, and Izzi Dame stole not only the opportunity, but then ended up winning the title as well from Thea Hale. So, yeah. Sammy versus Drew rumored to happen at the Rumble. I mean, there's certainly a pathway for that. I definitely think there's a narrative logic to having having Sammy be one of Drew's title defenses. Because Sammy still hasn't sort of climbed that mountain of beating Drew. Also, if the WWE creative crowd is in any way nervous that Sami Zayn not winning the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia would be a problem for the crowd, booking him in the WWE title match ahead of time to go ahead and set expectations that Sammy will not be in the Rumble is a very smart move. I think you could do Sammy versus Drew at the Rumble. So have Sammy win the Fatal 4-Way. That's 100% what's going to happen. That's 100% what's going to happen because the Saturday night's main event is in Montreal. And that's where the Fatal 4-Way is going to happen to determine the number one contender. Sammy's going to win that Fatal 4-Way in Montreal. Canada is going to explode. And then he's going to go to Saudi Arabia to challenge for the WWE title. And I think Drew McIntyre is going to cheat and break everybody's heart. But I think that's 100% what's going to happen. I think Sami Zayn is winning on Friday, and he's winning Saturday night's main event. It's in Montreal. He's the hometown kid. Well, he's not. Yeah, he's from Montreal. Him and KO are both from Montreal, right? Anyway, Montreal's going to go nuts for Sammy. So yeah, I totally see that. I'd see Sammy at the Rumble. That way, he's not in the Rumble, so they don't have like a Daniel Bryan situation from 2015, where he comes out early and gets dumped early, and then the crowd just craps on the rest of the match. If they already know going into it that he's not going to be in it, that's a good way to kind of placate those expectations. Yeah, I 100% believe that's going to happen. Last name, I don't know if I'm going to watch the Indiana versus Miami game. I mean, I'm still a little sore about Georgia not being in it, but I think it's a very intriguing game. And I might watch it because it'll be on Monday night and Raw will be on earlier in the day because they'll be overseas. So I won't have to split my time back and forth. So maybe. Oh, there's a video package on EO Sky. Is this a commercial for Unreal? Dude, I love EO Sky. Showing her from War Games. Talking about the trash can spot. So, this has got to be from Unreal because this is like one of those superstar profile things like they did with Rhea Ripley last time in Charlotte. Dude, EO is great. If you don't like EO, I don't think we can be friends. You don't have to think she's the greatest of all time, but I don't know how you can actively dislike EO Sky. She's so freaking likable. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was an ad for Unreal. I'm definitely going to be doing that. Oh no, I'm not done watching football yet. We've got to get through the national championship, and we'll get through the Super Bowl too. But yeah, it shouldn't interfere with any PLE streams going forward. That football season is over. My son's football season. So, time around the fall, although um, Lord willing, Marked by Wrestling still up and running and thriving in 2026. We're gonna be doing high school football this year. So Saturdays will most likely be on the table for PLE streams. So here comes the North American Women's Champion, Izzi Dame. And yeah. Well, yeah, I know. I love A and B and I love their chat and everything too, but I am trying to challenge myself a little bit to grow the channel, and I can't do that if I don't start going live a little bit more. So I'm going to be working on that some myself. Lockwood, I imagine they've got to touch on Brock's return a little bit because they are going to touch on Seth's faking the injury. So they are going to be covering part of SummerSlam. So it's a real possibility where they're already chanting for Tatum. I got to say, Izzy's jacket, pretty cool. Looks like something she could wear standing next to Braun Breaker. Last name, the main event tonight is Joe Hendry versus Dion Lennox in a no DQ match. Joe Hendry's going to have OTM in his corner. Oh, by the way, if you guys are on Twitter, Izzi and Blake Monroe have been having a Twitter beef the past few days. Like, I wonder if anybody's told them to delete stuff. Or they're like making fun of each other's like failure botches and stuff. George, I think Izzi can still grow in her promos, but I think in the ring she's fine. But she does need. There's a little bit of a missing piece there somewhere. It's not. There's not a lot missing. Funny you should mention the tanning, Lockwood, because she's Braun's girlfriend, I think. So I guess they go to the same tanning place. Sorry, everybody. There's something in the air. I blame Izzi. You know what, though? When talking about Izzy's promo ability, pay attention to what she's saying now versus what Blake Monroe was saying earlier. Sophie, I think Izzi has at least got another year in NXT. They're chanting, turn her mic off. You know what it is? Izzi sounds like she's reading lines she memorized. And Blake sounds like she's just talking. And that's the difference. And I think that's just time and reps, hopefully. But Izzi has to stop. Izzi right now sounds like she's memorized lines. And that's where a lot of people start. And this is why this is NXT. But if she does this, if she gets called up to Raw or SmackDown and she still sounds like this, she's going to get wutted out of the building. Also, I'm sorry, but Izzy's natural speaking voice is just a little obnoxious. She can make that work for her, though. Yeah, Shamanika. I mean, it's a testament to Izzy's talent that she's still been on the roster. I think she's still got a great upside. I just think her promos, it's not that they're bad. It's like her promo doesn't fit the rest of her. Like, I don't particularly care what is he saying right now. It's a whole lot of nothing. Finally, interrupted by Tatum Paxley and a host of referees trying to stop her. All right. Here we go. Double leg takedown. Whoa. Tatum just clocked one of the referees, and I mean clocked him. You know what? Good. Tatum showing a little fire, a little insanity. Good. Tatum showing some fire. I like it. Should put a little stank on that. Kelly Kincaid interviewing Ricky Saints backstage. Ricky. Okay, Lexus King is like chattering along with different people tonight. I'm curious. He said, let's talk to Stax. Now, a few developments from Ricky's backstage interview, which was far more engaging and interesting than what Izzi just did in the ring, by the way. Ricky Saints announced he is automatically in the ladder match on February 3rd for the NXT title. He's going to be ringside for some of the qualifying matches, he said. They've already announced two. Sean Legacy and Eli Knight. I don't know who Eli Knight is. I can't even picture him. The NXT name generator strikes again. And then Josh Briggs and Shiloh Hill, which I find interesting. I'm just going to try to Google this Eli Knight name right now. I find it interesting that they're putting Briggs and Shiloh Hill in the qualifying there. So let's see. Eli Knight. He's a WWE ID signee. Okay. Oh, okay. Actually, I did see him on Twitter earlier today because their Twitter account announced that he was added to the roster and he's already being connected. So, all right. That's a crazy fast move up, though. I saw someone on Reddit say they have a Javon-sized hole and they're just trying to plug it. So let's see if he's. I tell you what, though. Now I'm starting to get what my wife calls the uh-oh feeling. Because if that's true, I've never seen Eli Knight wrestle a match, so I don't even know what his style is or anything like that. But if he is somehow sort of replacing the Javon Evans void, we already saw that Keanu Carver kid show up tonight, and we're already calling him Baby Femi. Please don't tell me they're just trying to recreate those three excellent superstars they got called up. Next man up doesn't mean just recreate the same character over and over again. Like, I thought they learned that lesson with Lex Luger in the mid-90s when you can't just recreate Hulk Hogan over and over again. They tried to do it with the Ultimate Warrior. It didn't work. They tried to do it with Lex Luger. It didn't work. Like, you have one mega over popular superstar in your brand, then you just find the next one, and the next one doesn't have to act exactly like the last one. So I hope they're not doing that with everybody they just lost, because even Lola Vice is, I don't know, she was accentuating parts of herself tonight that felt a little Stephanie Vicarish, if I'm being honest. I mean, she's always done that to an extent, but I just felt like there was a little more of it tonight. You know what I mean? So, yeah, hopefully they're not just trying to go back to the well of things they know have worked, and instead find the people that look at the people they have and pull the best out of them. And I do think some of that is happening. I think there is something special with Shiloh Hill that will eventually get there. Kelani, I think, is clearly showing something more special now. I still like Lola. Obviously, Jada Parker and Blake Monroe, great segment tonight. Both of them uniquely have something special on their own. That's not copying anyone else in NXT or in WWE. So yeah, more of that, shall we? We're gonna have a fun marked moment poll tonight, I think. So we'll see what happens. Shamanika, your birthday is on the ladder match. Okay, well, hey, listen, if you take a moment, if you need to take a break from partying, feel free to come say hi to us. We will gladly celebrate you if you come in and say hi. And if not, remind us the week after, and we'll give you a belated happy birthday as well. I hope it's everything you want it to be this year. Tatum is being barred from the building for smacking a ref. Here's the Vanity Project. So the Evolve champion is an NXT talent now? Yeah, we on that Pro Wrestling High tonight, baby. Chase U and Cobra Kai. So it's Revenge of the Nerds versus Cobra Kai next week? Love it. Oh, there's Keon. There's Baby Femi. Oh, Baby Femi just shoved the camera. Okay. All right. Well, just looking at Eli Knight, he looks like the love child of Javon Evans and Leon Slater. So him and Legacy might burn it down. We'll see what happens. Also, Ethan Page versus the debuting Elio LaFord next week. This is going to be quite a show next week, you guys. The men are going to get a chance to cook. We're going to find out what this roster still has. And then the triple threat ladies tag match too. Dang. Next week is a real sleeper hit, guys. They could really do something. All right, we got Joe Hendry versus Dark State. Let's see if OTM show up to help. They are now entering through the entranceway like normal wrestlers. This feels like such generic music, though. To be fair, though, sometimes WWE goes through eras where their themes are just generic for some people. All right, guys, who you got in the main event? You got Dark State or you got Joe Hendry with OTM? Let's see. Believe in Joe Hendry. But OTM's not with him. Are they going to get their own entrance or what? Okay, well, here comes Dark State. They're going to meet him in the aisleway. Here comes OTM. They're coming out now. They're in street clothes too. Dark State getting back in the ring now. Booker's singing the song. Years ago during the Raw guest general manager phase, William Shatner, Captain Kirk from Star Trek, did a bit where he was singing WWE theme songs. I really think they should recreate that with Booker T. It would be hilarious. Last name, we have seen Bane D'Angelo earlier in the evening after that opening segment where all the men were fighting and then Baby Femi showed up and killed everybody. Ava was walking to her office with Robert Stone, and he just walked from left to right across the way. We believe, Chance. All right. Well, Hendry is trying to keep his distance from the rest of Dark State. Joe Hendry with a neck breaker. Right in the middle of the ring. Only going to get a 2 count here. I got to say, the match is fine. And Dion Lennox is getting better as a singles wrestler. But I'm not taken with Dark State in any way. Honestly, if anything, I think that Dion Lennox, if he's going to have a future as a superstar, might need to separate himself from Dark State a little bit because he's got the tools to be a solid in-ring wrestler. Because him and Joe are not having a bad match tonight, but I just don't care a lot about Dark State. And that's taken away a little bit from this main event. So last name, the vacant NXT title. So they announced this, in the opening segment. There is going to be a 6-man ladder match on February 3rd, edition of NXT, to determine the new NXT champion. Ricky Saints is one of the men already in the match. The rest of the field will be determined by qualifying matches. 2 of those matches are going to happen next week. Shawn Legacy and Eli Knight, a new WWE ID signing. And then the other match is Josh Briggs and Shiloh Hill. So 2 of those 4 men will be the rest of half the field of the ladder match. And then we'll get qualifying matches again to round that out. So we'll see what comes from it. Shamanica, were we having Vengeance Day? Probably. They haven't announced the next PLE yet for NXT, so I'm not sure when it'll be. But they've been they're stacking some of their TV programs though, because next week alone looks really tough. You've got those 2 ladder match qualifiers. You've got a North American title match with Ethan Page against the debuting Elio LaFleur, the French luchador. And then you've got triple threat women's tag match with Zaruka, Fatal Influence and Ren QCC, the winner of which will face the women's knockout tag champions in TNA. Have I heard of the Tonga Twins? George, I'm assuming you're referring to current tag team, and the answer is no. Obviously, Tongans back in the day, like the Islanders, Haku and Tama, those guys, yeah, sure. But the Samoan SWAT team, Samu and Fatu, or the Head Shrinkers. But no, not heard of the Tonga Twins. Are they any good? Put me on game, as they say. Solid match tonight. Again, nothing wrong with it, but I also have to admit, not super exciting. There's something very generic about it. I don't know how to put my finger on it, because it's not bad. It's very inoffensive. It's like they're twin sisters. Interesting. Okay. Oh goodness. Last call, by the way, on any matches or wrestling moments you'd like to revisit from our question of the night tonight. Since we're probably on one of our last commercial breaks now. Curious to know what you guys think about that. I'll see if I can come up with another one before we come back from break. I will say one of my first favorite matches ever was WrestleMania 3, man. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Randy the Macho Man Savage. Macho Man Randy Savage. I've watched that match more times than I can count, and just fantastically paced match. Great athleticism from both men, and just really emotionally fulfilling conclusion to that match. Just a great match all around. Honestly, Randy Savage's run for probably 86 to 92 was amazing. Yes, Brett and Austin at WrestleMania 13, Dossie. That's so good. You know what? You said WrestleMania 13, but their match at Survivor Series 96 also really, really good too. If anything, I'm really sad that the screw job happens, because I would have loved to have seen like a fully heel Bret Hart take on WWF champion Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like, could you imagine if Bret and Vince had somehow been able to make peace behind the scenes, and the screw job didn't happen, but he did. But then Bret was like the guy for the corporation, not necessarily instead of The Rock, but he was maybe the first corporate champion. That could have been amazing. And then we get another Bret Austin match. That probably would have delayed The Rock's ascension a little bit, but I don't think that's a terrible thing. Rock still would have gotten there anyways. We also could have got a Bret Rock feud too, because Vince could have screwed Bret then, and The Rock could have been corporate champion, and then Bret and The Rock could have had a feud as well. You could have even had Bret and Steve team up. That would have been dope. OTM just gave Joe Hendry some brass knucks because it's no DQ. Look at OTM being team players. Only two, though. The Rock and Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Talk about an ascension, man. What a changing of the guard moment that match was. Speaking of shocking moments involving Brock Lesnar, second, the 2016 Survivor Series Brock Lesnar Goldberg match, the 88-second match, shocked me. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was wild. Standing ovation, but they just tossed Dion Lennox a kendo stick, and he just cracked Joe Hendry twice with that, 3 times with it. Here comes 4. Hendry just getting wailed on. You know what's wild is that it's a no DQ match, and they're just tossing weapons to their guy like it's they're not just coming in the ring to interfere. Now Joe's got the kendo stick and he's going after it. Oh, kendo sticks are so loud, man. Now here comes a standing ovation, choke slam. Will that be enough? Nope. Osiris Griffin just drags Joe Hendry out of the ring and smacks him around and throws him back in. And here comes more weapons. Oh, like a slingshot power bomb, sort of, from Dion Lennox. And now OTM returns the favor. Now they're just straight up mugging Dion Lennox outside the ring. Kenny and Okada. Oh, here we go. 3-on-2. OTM and Dark State now breaking down. Rock and Stone Cold WrestleMania 15. Great match as well, Tyrell. Although they're still outnumbered by 1, though. Okay, well now it's 1-on-1 in the ring. Everybody else has fought out to the back. So now there's a Slim Jim table in the ring. Slim Jim alert. Who's going to snap into it? Dion Lennox going for a chair. I don't see Joe Hendry. Oh, Joe's got a chair of his own. Now they're about to have a chair duel. Oh, and they both swing. They both drop them. Dion Lennox. Oh, wicked spine buster right on the chair. Only gets 2. And now Joe is up. Standing ovation. Oh, choke slam onto the chair. Now Lennox kicks out at 2. These guys are taking some bumps, man. Respect to Joe and Dion here. I said what I said about the pacing of the match and it being a little bland, but it's not because these guys aren't working hard. Oof. That table's still up too. Somebody's going through it. Chekhov's table, if you will. Pump kick from Hendry. And there it is. Dion spears him right through the table. Hendry takes the table spot. Drags him to the middle of the ring. 2. Just a 2 count. Joe Hendry kicking out of a table spot. What else is there to do? Here comes the other chair. They traded finishers onto one chair, but now Dion's got the other chair up. The crowd's making noise. Is somebody here? Bane is here. Bane D'Angelo. And here's a spine buster for you. You merely adopted the chair shot. I was born in it. Now Tony is standing over Joe Hendry. He offers his hand. He helps up Joe. Oh, nope. Choke slam for Joe. They're both down, but Tony drags Joe Hendry on top. So Tony D'Angelo drops both men, but he hospitably ensures Joe Hendry gets the victory. Interesting. It's like, what if Bane was 1997 Sting? You've heard of Crow Sting, but can I interest you in Bane Tony D'Angelo? Interesting. This is exactly what Crow Sting did too. He attacked both WCW and the NWO at first until he made his allegiance. Interesting. And now here comes Ava. And Ava looks pissed. Tony's still here and he loses the coat. He's surrounded by security. And now, oh, Tony's got hands for security. Big spear to one. And Tony's fighting off security. Oh, German suplex. Okay. There's the spine buster. Tony's got a great spine buster. And there's the credits. Paul Levesque, Lee Fitting, Shawn Michaels. Interesting. Shawn Michaels credit says Shawn Michaels. Now Tony D just glares at Ava, walks right past her. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is that our show? All right, I have a Netflix commercial break for like a minute. Are we going to get one more bit here? I'm just going to sit with you guys real quick and see. I mean, listen, one thing NXT excelled at this week was increasing hype for next week, for the next 2 weeks, really. 2 weeks? 3 weeks. Because the ladder match is in 3 weeks. And then over the next 2 weeks, we're getting qualifiers. Great card already set for next week. There are showcasing new talent and really have people making an impact. Still putting the shine on some of their people who are still here. That was the weirdest thing. I had like a 60-second commercial break and then just the Netflix doo-doo, like the show's over. I'm like, well, dude, just tell me the show's over. Anyways, all right, so we are done. We are wrapped up. Thank you guys so much for being here. Check out the page. Make sure to like the video if you haven't liked the video, and subscribe if you're new. Share with your friends. We've got more things coming. I do have 2026 predictions that I'm going to share and post. It'll be a very short video, but I'll have that coming up soon as well. And we've got Raw and SmackDown coming up. We're going to have Saturday night's main event, Royal Rumble. It is one of the best times of the year to be a wrestling fan. It's when all the new stories get kicked into high gear. So we're going to have to see what happens. So Joe Hendry won the match. Joe Hendry won the main event thanks to an assist from Tony D'Angelo, who actually laid out both men, but he grabbed Joe Hendry and threw him on top of Dion Lennox to get the pin. So, yeah, we've got an interesting road ahead of us. Check we will get a Rumble prediction show for sure. I will put together a Rumble predictions show as well. A predictions, what do you call it? The contest for you guys as well. And we'll probably, I don't know about Saturday night's main event. We may do that as well. I'll have to talk with the coalition about that and see if we do a Saturday night's main event prediction show. But we'll absolutely do that for the Rumble because it's the second, I mean, for my money, the second biggest show of the year. So exciting to do that. Thank you guys always for rocking with me every single week. Watch out for the Marked by Wrestling Marked Moment poll coming up later tonight because there's quite a few interesting things happen tonight to get our attention. I'm curious what got your attention the most. So anyways, as we always say, and thank you, by the way, everybody, for sharing those matches and moments that meant something to you tonight. I'm going to try to come up with more questions each and every week that we can just kind of talk about through commercial breaks and carry that thread throughout the show. Love you guys so much. Thank you again just for being so supportive and positive and enjoying wrestling with me, because I mean, why are you going to watch it if you're not going to enjoy it? You know what I mean? And so all that to say, appreciate you guys so much. And don't ever be worried if you get called a mark, because that just means you believe. And we like to believe when we watch wrestling, because, say it with me, believing makes wrestling better. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You guys take care of yourselves. Stay safe wherever you are. And I will see you guys very, very soon. Stay tuned to the channel. Again, like that video. Help a brother out. And I will see you guys very, very soon. Appreciate you all so much. and